Good morning, everyone. This is G from the Force Training Academy. This is 7 a.m. in the morning. I just finished a couple of morning training sessions, so I'm kind of sleepy. Sorry about that. And also there are a couple of things going on here. I have the tripod at home. Well, no, sorry, the tripod is here. I have the memory card of the camera at home because the videos are getting uploaded as we speak. So I have my iPhone with me right now. So here is this bygone mosquito and fly killer, which I'm going to use to stick the phone on the dumbbell rack, and hopefully it will hold. Let me get a box and then put the box on the rack, put the phone on the box. I would have to show this how it is, but you won't be able to see it. And then once it stands proper. So I'm squatting in front of my iPhone. This one is one of those videos which are actually not that engaging. Well, not that entertaining. There is no flashiness, there are no funny cuts, but there is education and information to it. One thing I almost constantly, I see it constantly. I see it almost every day. Yeah, almost every day, because the gym is closed on Sundays. So I see it 6 times a week, which is almost every day. But I see it every day I train people. Even with seasoned athletes, it is a recurring thing. And if you watch my workout videos, you will probably see it happening with people. If you don't watch my workout videos, watch them. But if you generally watch any workout videos out there, you will see it happening. This is a fault in the bend pattern. So if you take a look at it, I hope I'm not covering the mic. If you take a look at the bend pattern, right, it's like a deadlift. Now notice one little detail here. I'm using the phone, the screen of the phone, like a mirror. So I'm not standing here, right? I'm not facing the mirror and then looking into it. I will show you why. I'm standing sideways to the mirror, so I think I will just call this video how you use a fucking mirror in the gym. This gym doesn't have mirrors. The old place had mirrors. This gym doesn't have mirrors because people fuck up form, right? They screw everything up they can if they have mirrors. So here it is. You're my mirror. I'm hinging. Then I'm checking my form in the mirror. And then I adjust the form. So let's do an exercise. Okay, I have a keg here. This is random. I didn't prepare it. So I use my mirror to see my form, stabilize my torso, pull in my belly button, wrap it around the spine, pinch my shoulder blades. You bring the shoulder blades together, and down. Okay? So tuck your chin in and hinge. You see my hands here? This is not a flashy thing, guys. I learned this from Kelly Starrett, Dr. Kelly Starrett. If you get your hand below the belly button, just put your thumb there, keep the palm flat, and then on the sternum, above the sternum, keep your palm flat. You pinch your shoulder blades, you brace your shoulders. Now, if you move your torso around without moving your shoulders, you lock your torso into one solid piece. So you sort of stabilize your spine. As soon as, in this position, as soon as you destabilize and you rotate your spine, you will feel that the position of the shoulders are altering. So you're sort of screwing up. If I'm bending forward, I can see my shoulders twisting. So if I lock my shoulder in this position, I have a tactile feedback of what my torso is doing. That's pretty powerful. That's very important. Then I would set up for my row and I would look into the mirror, see if my form is correct. So if I fuck up my back, I can see it now. Then I would adjust it. I would re-brace. So that is, re-pitch your shoulder blades, suck in your belly button, squeeze your ass, and push your feet to the ground. It's important. Press your feet. You don't stand up. You don't actually stand up, but you press your feet into the ground. You ground yourself. Then from here, if you want to see the form of the first couple of reps, you would be looking into the mirror and you would be rowing, right? Or you would execute the row, check, back down. Okay, so that's one of the things I wanted to say. Well, I didn't want to talk about the mirror, but it's actually handy that it's there. So this is how would you use a fucking mirror in the gym. You wouldn't stand in front of it. If you stand in front of it, this is what happens. If you face the mirror, this is what happens. Let's say you've got a good form. You go down. This is a good form, right? Now I look into the mirror. Fucked. Gone. What happened? Turn it to the side. You've got a good form. You're braced. Your torso is stable. You have cervical extension. That is, you tuck your chin in, you push your head up. So you're lengthening the spine and stabilizing it. Because your spine starts here and it ends here. So anything you do between these 2 points, right, even if you move your head around, is pretty much altering your spinal position, breaking your spinal integrity. Because whenever, let's get into it. Let's explain this first. So I would hinge down. Let's say the mirror is here and I would look into the mirror. Boom. Look what just happened. I just broke my spinal integrity. Just lifted my head. That's it. If I'm loaded in this position, if I'm loaded in this position in any way, speed or intensity, then it's a problem, because I will lose the spinal stability and the spine will start bending around under load. That's not designed to do that. So that's not good. That's no good. It's not something you want. So this is it. Cervical extension, shoulder blades back and down, belly button in, squeeze the glutes. That makes sure your spine is at its best position. I am not saying that it's in a perfect position, because the perfect position depends on millions of things. If you have scoliosis, highly likely you're not going to get into that perfect position, at least for now. But you'll be at its best position. Okay, best possible position at the moment. Might be that you just sore from a pressing day before, your chest is tight, your shoulders are tight. Will it allow you to properly align the spine? No. But you can get to its best position. And whenever at its best position, you want to stabilize there and you want it to stay there. You don't want to fucking move it. So just extend. That's the most important part. That's the common thing, right? You can get people to brace from the chest down to the hip. That's easy to teach. Almost everyone gets it. They go, wow, I didn't know I can do this. I didn't know it is possible. That's cool. Yeah, they like it. They understand it. Fantastic. But then they would move their heads around. So let's say you're doing Romanian deadlift with someone, right? So brace, down, and then here's the exercise. Right? So what did I just do? I braced, squeezed in, aligned my spine, standing as it should be. You never set up your spine in a bent position. You never set up your spine in the bottom of a movement, because you don't feel where you are. Always set up standing always brace standing. That's when you're the most neutral, because you don't want to set up what you feel when you're down there, because highly likely you're gonna be overextending from the lower back. You're gonna be fucking up millions of things, because then the position of the hips and the position of the glutes plays into your feedback of what you feel, where your joints are located. So the best way to do this is to actually stand up. If you don't know how to stand up, right? So I can show you now. That's my tripod, because I'm gonna move the camera. I could show you. So if you don't know how to stand up, just do this. Just heels next to the wall, ass against the wall, shoulder blades against the wall, pull in your belly button, wrap it around the spine, vacuum in the abs, head against the wall, extend cervically. And you can get your arm up and get it into external rotation. Now you know how to stand up. Okay, practice that. That is going to help you to get this right. So you would get people who actually brace from the neck down, cool. And then they would look up. When they go down to the deadlift, or row, or squat, anything. How many of you see people squatting like this? Okay, your spine, once you brace it, it becomes one unit. It becomes one single joint. From the head down to the bottom of the ass, it becomes one single unit, and it moves as such. So if you want to create tension and stability in the spine, you would just brace and move it as one unit. Okay, you can see this thing happening in all of the Kelly Starrett videos. You can see this happening with strength camp. Elliot Holtz, he would even use a broomstick on your spine. I use it as well. It's easy to teach deadlift when you've got a broomstick pressed to your back, because now you get a feedback, clean tactile feedback of what the hell you're doing. Or we would do that with rows. We would do that with croc rows, keg rows, barbell rows, pull-ups, push-ups, planks, whatever you can think of. Wherever your spinal integrity is a key, wherever you're loading into the spine, actually, axially, or in any other way, you would clearly benefit from a broomstick stuck on your back. I kind of have to cut it short, because these guys are starting to dig, and the next thing you're gonna listen to is for the next 5 hours. So yeah, that's basically the thing. Whenever you're exercising, whenever your spinal integrity is important, okay, so you're doing runs, you're doing jumps, you're doing rows, you're doing planks, you're doing push-ups. Push-ups are just dynamic planks anyway. You're doing pull-ups, you're doing overhead presses, you're doing anything you can think of where your spine would be in a loaded situation. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, where your spine would be loaded. By the way, if you're not a native English speaker, you're gonna suck with YouTube videos. Still keep producing them. Eventually they will fix your accent. So yeah, whenever your spine would be loaded, you want to tuck in your chin, push your head up. It's called cervical extension. Look, instead of this, okay? Externally rotate your shoulders, pinch your shoulder blades back and down, suck in your belly button, squeeze your ass. Okay? That gives you stability in the spine, and then just keep that single position wherever you move. Okay, It looks like Kraftwerk, and that is the idea. So you brace, you tighten the muscles, and then you don't move them around under load, because as soon as you snap out of this tension, you will lose integrity and you will actually lose the tension. Okay, so once you lose the tension, what creates the stability in the spine, you will immediately fall back into a compromised position or overload certain muscles, because now you don't have the integrity. Okay, the key is that the muscles what stabilize and move the spine around, they are generally not that strong, so you won't be able to load them with double of your body weight. You won't be able to load them repeatedly with certain amount of weights, and so your risk of injury just goes higher and higher and higher the more you break your spinal integrity. Now, I am not saying that if you bend your neck in a lightweight deadlift, you're gonna snap your spine. What I'm saying that it's going to cause discomfort, injury, and pain from a couple of sources. First of all, if you exercise with fucked up posture or with a fucked up form, then you're eating away your joints. Now you have two ways to do this. You have your 1 rep max, and then you just gonna snap your lower back on the spot. Done. Hernia or worse. Right? That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is you go for high load, you go for light load and high reps, and you'd be able to do this shit for years on end. And then at one point, something would give. And this is the same thing. The cause is the same thing, and essentially the injury is more or less the same thing, but one is an intense snap, one is a build-up and then an intense snap. And the funny thing is, if you have these spinal integrity issues, it can cause knee pain, and it can, manifest as an ACL tear, because you just fucking up your spinal integrity, which of course in turn affects your hip mechanics. So your hip doesn't work the way it should, and now you're impacting the knee. By the way, there is this concept of Kelly Starrett saying spine comes first. If you are unable to stabilize your spine, I don't even expect you at all to understand the basics of knee mechanics and hip mechanics. If you are not able to keep your spine in a good form, you have no chance, literally no chance, no way that you're gonna understand anything about your hips, and no way that you would be able to implement any of those understanding you might have about your hips with your exercises, with your runs, and with your jumps. Now the funny thing is, this doesn't just apply to powerlifters. It applies to walkers. It applies to office jockeys. It applies to everyone who does movement. Since everyone is doing movement, it applies to everyone. Spinal integrity is key. It comes first. Don't bend your neck. By the way, if you have a mirror in the gym, good for you. We don't have one here. But if you have a mirror in the gym, good for you. Use it as you intend to use it. I don't care if you want to check your biceps and you're doing bicep curls, but I would do that even that from the side, so I can see my shoulders, I can see my posture, I can see if I'm swinging my elbow, and I can still see some freaking cool muscle activation, right? So stand sideways to the mirror, look into it when you want to look into it, but focus in your own body, focus on your own body, from within your own body. Feel it. And that will help you to get this right. So what you need to take home is this: do not look up when you're hinging forward. If you're utilizing a bend pattern, don't look up. Think about this. If you're picking up a fucking box from the floor, right? And I'm picking up that dumbbell. Let's say that's a box, okay? That's a box of groceries. I'm gonna go like this, right? To pick that up. I'm gonna look at it to see what I'm lifting. Even if I'm bending my back, I'm gonna look at it to see what I'm lifting. This is the idea of the thing. Do the same when you lift. You are training for function. You don't want to fuck yourself up into a point when you will have one movement pattern for the gym and one movement pattern for your life. You want to improve, that's what I'm talking about. You want to improve your movement patterns, what you use in your life, in your ordinary life. You want to improve them in the gym so that you become more effective in whatever you're doing. That's functional training because it has a function.